we've already discussed how Carrie is going to push them out and basically be like, get out, we're taping. Keep in mind, I have my light ring with me and my little tripod, so we pretty much looked ridiculous coming down here. Carrie just got a couple hellos from people, which is really exciting. We have a lot going on today, and I'm super excited. First, I'm going to give a quick personal update. I am going to share who the winner is of the giveaway from Monday night's IG Live show. We've got $200 worth of pelagic gear, hats, visors, SPF cool wicking shirts. I'll announce that in a second. I'm going to talk about Trail Sisters, why I'm super passionate about it. I'm wearing my gear, which I typically do on most days. And then I'm going to bring on the founder of Trail Sisters, Gina Lucrezi, who is just like, not only just like kind of a badass runner and like mountain adventurer and the founder of Trail Sisters, she's just kind of a good egg and a wonderful human being. And I just can't wait to share her with you guys. We are going to take questions from the audience. So all of you people that are on the line right now, especially if you are part of Trail Sisters, one of the local chapters, get ready because this is your chance to ask Gina the questions that you've always had. We're going to do a giveaway of a Trail Sisters swag pack, and her swag is solid. Again, I wear it all the time. I'm going to talk about some upcoming guests, a new time slot. We got a lot going on. I want to make sure I try and keep it in that 30-minute window, so we're going to get going. Good morning to everyone who's saying hello. Welcome again. If you just joined us, this is not my house. This is not my interior design. I am at a dude ranch, basically sequestered in the library of the basement of the main lodge because the Wi-Fi was so bad in my room. So, moving on. So, quick personal update. You might be like, Allison, like, why are you with this? So I got my port surgery on Tuesday of this past week. Port basically is a bionic little thing that goes underneath my skin that enables nurses to give me IV or chemo through the port as opposed to in my arm. And I was very reluctant to getting a port because I had one 2 years ago, and then I sort of graduated from chemo and thought I graduated from cancer, and 2020 was like, 2020, just being a little bitch. And with the cancer coming back in my chest, I started chemo 2 weeks ago. I was reluctant to get the port put in because I just didn't want to accept the whole situation. And it was decided on Monday that I didn't have a choice anymore. So got the bionic situation here. It's healing. I still went in the freaking hot tub yesterday. I just went up to here. And also got to ride a horse and do other cool dude ranchy kinds of things. So not going to keep me down. All right, so moving on. Got some stuff going on. The winner, for anyone that is listening who listened to my interview with Zach Yarbrough on Monday night, he was kind enough. He works for Pelagic Gear. It's used to kind of be a fishing brand, but now it's more of like an outdoor lifestyle brand, and they have a lot of cool stuff. He put together this awesome swag pack worth about $200. We did a giveaway, and the winner of the giveaway is Saltwater Gospel. So at Saltwater Gospel, if you're listening right now and you are on, make sure that you send me or Zach a direct message. We will get that stuff shipped out to you because No Time to Waste Live means free shit, because who doesn't love free shit? So, okay. So before I bring on Gina, I'm going to bring her on in 1 second. Trail Sisters, just so you guys know, No Time to Waste, a lot of what I talk about is, maximizing your moments, focusing on things like gratitude, human connection, joy. And for me personally, being outside in nature, especially if I'm moving, is something that connects me to a source bigger than myself. It makes me feel calm. It makes me feel peaceful. And there was a time when I was running fast on trails and mountains. I discovered Trail Sisters, which Gina's going to talk about in a second, but basically she started it in 2016 as a sort of grassroots movement where in an effort to get more women engaged in trail running, but also hiking. So it wasn't just about racing and running fast. It was just about connection to the outdoors and the mountains. She started basically popping up local chapters all over the US. It grew to local chapters in Canada. We've got local chapters that are in Europe, and basically it's this awesome, like, kind of self-propelled movement of women that wanted to connect with other women in their local area to go on trail runs and go on hikes. And there's also a fantastic website, trailsisters.net, that she's created that now is this huge platform of user-generated content. So any member of Trail Sisters has the ability to submit an article to get published at trailsisters.net, and it's awesome. And I've written an article about my kind of return to pre-cancer kind of physical fitness. And I'm super excited because it was about a year ago that I found out that Gina hosts retreats for women, and there was a retreat that was hosted in Boulder, and I was in my kind of post-treatment travel blitz, and I was like, let's do it. And I did my first speaking engagement in San Francisco and flew directly from there to Boulder, and I got to meet some incredible women that I still keep in touch with, and I am still seeing the ones that live in Colorado. And it's just a fantastic organization. Her intentions are so pure, and I'm just super stoked to bring her on. So without further ado, let's see if Gina, so Gina or Trail Sisters, whichever handle you want to use, request to join, and I'm going to bring you on. So while we're waiting for her, if you have questions for Gina, please make sure you have those ready, because this is a really cool opportunity to bring her on. So request to join. I just want to make sure I did this right. Also, for anybody that loves Broadway musicals and knows that I've been talking about it recently, my sister and I were just jamming out to Newsies right before we went on. I'm going to bring on Gina Lucrezi, who is going to be on in 1 second. I don't have to listen to myself talk anymore, which is awesome. Yeah! What? Whoa, is that like a professional studio you're in?
No, I know, right? Green room. No, I really like the color mint, and so I painted the room mint.
Wow. Can you come like jazz up? Do you want to, you could probably use you to jazz up the library where I am at the branch. If you notice the dark browns, not as cheery as mint green.
Well, I think some people would say this room color probably makes them sick after a while, but I kind of dig it.
It's a little Willy Wonka, not gonna lie. But I feel like it maps to you and is perfect. I don't know if you heard, I just gave a little kind of weird intro about Trail Sisters and my
You did great.
connection. Did you think it was pretty good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me first, I'm really hoping that a bunch of people will jump on so that we can get some good questions for you.
Sure.
Because you're so famous and popular, I can't believe that you were willing to hop on this very professional not podcast.
I love your podcast. I think it's great.
Thank you. It's not a podcast, though. We've talked about this. It's,
True.
It's just an informal conversation that I happen to tape on IG Live. It's fine.
I know. I thought it was the Had To morning show.
Well, not here right now. I mean, we're on location here at the Dude Ranch, but yes, Had To. Very good call. For those of you who are going, what is she talking about? My office, aka the home production studio, which is just the corner of my office back in Boulder, I have a wooden sign that says Snowbird, Utah, except when everything is mirrored, because I just throw my phone on a tripod, it just, all you can see is Had To instead of Utah. So that's like the running joke. Okay, so enough about me. This is about you. So tell me first, how did you come up with the idea for Trail Sisters? What was the origins of it?
So it really started as the short story. Okay, so I've been working in the industry for about 8 to 10 years, and I've done everything from working for a brand as a marketing manager, working for a few publications, doing ad sales and business management, and then I kind of shifted over to doing things like I was a team manager and other contract work doing events. And then I competed professionally as well. And so I kind of felt like I had this huge, I had a great view of the entire arena of the outdoor industry and then within the sport of trail running. And it blew my mind that there was such a lack of, just encouragement and perspective of women in the sport. And I don't know, I chalk it up to being my Italian side, my German side. But I get pretty feisty, and so needless to say, I got pretty pissed off. I was like, well, I need to do something about this. We need, more female voice and representation in this sport. So I decided to start just a simple online journal. It was a passion project. So it's like, all right, I don't know too many women that have had all the random experience that I've had throughout the entire industry. So, I called on some of my friends and asked if they'd write a few articles. So we posted one article per week for months, just hoping to inspire women with these stories. And the idea was to either inspire, educate, or empower them just to get out on the trails and hope of, growing opportunity and just also participation. It's kind of like the short story of it. But yeah, I got really frustrated that, I don't know, nothing was happening. And I'd seen so much in a way that I'm glad I saw what I saw, but sometimes when you're in too deep, you know too much,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how I felt. I'm like, oh man, like I love this sport, I love this industry, but shit, we're not doing enough. And if I, instead of complaining about it, I guess I'll try to fix it or do something. And then I did. And now, it kind of took off. So I'm like, all right, now what do I do? What's next? What else can, can I
So
keep
like
working?
that, so like that's part of my thing. Like, you can start something that can be an idea, but if you're not propelling it, like what has amazed me is the local chapters that have popped up where women
Right.
are essentially like self-governed. Like you're not involved in like the day-to-day or the organizing of group runs or like
Right.
the policing or even like the welcoming of stuff. How the heck did you go from like, okay, I'm just gonna like put out a local chapter and then hope that like other people like take it over for me and then just grow it?
Yeah, so we sat for a little bit, like we had some time of growth, and then eventually it's like, okay, we're this virtual community, which is awesome, but it doesn't help solve the problem of women looking for other women in their community to go run with. It's like
Yeah.
great to go online and be like, hey, Susie had a great time today. Did you? Like that's awesome, but when you want to have a friend to actually run with, it wasn't solving that issue. And so it's like, all right, well, let's set up like these local groups or chapters. And so I did create like a rules guidelines type form. And so, I asked that they follow that because, it is like a trademarked like organization. So there is, if you're going to use that name, you have to kind of follow our principles and our ethos. Otherwise, it's not really a Trail Sisters thing. And
Right.
that's fine if people want to start their own thing. It's really about getting more and more women out there. But if they wanted to be Trail Sisters, an official group, they had to follow some of these guidelines. So for instance, it'd be like no drop runs is a huge part of it.
Yep.
Or I should say no drop adventures, because some of the groups do more hiking than do running. But so for instance, and what that means is you might go like a half mile or a mile, and then you wait for everybody to regroup there, and then
Yep.
you continue on. So that way nobody gets left behind. A big barrier for a lot of women is the fact that, hey, I'm new to this, I want to check it out, but I don't want to be the last one. I don't want to slow anybody down. And sometimes they won't actually attend the event because of that, because they're so worried. And that kind of breaks my heart, because I'm like, no, don't let these fears stop you. The funny thing is most people have that same thought, like there's 10 of them are thinking the same exact thing, but they don't know that, right?
Yeah.
Like, so anyhow, so that was a big part of like why I'm like, okay, follow these things, these are really important, this is what makes it Trail Sisters. And so yeah, more people started writing in asking like, hey, can we have a Trail Sisters group, and Springfield, Missouri, and
Right.
just kind of Santa Cruz, California, Asheville, North Carolina. And so I do some screening. It's really hard to kind of do it a ton, which some people probably say that's not good enough, but hey, you can only do so much. You hope people have good intentions, which I haven't run into any issues yet, knock on wood. But yeah, so I get some
That's awesome.
information. I tell them kind of how they have to you know somewhat do the group thing, and then just let them roll with it, because everybody's area is different, and it wouldn't be fair to tell the leader how to do everything that they want to do, because their personality and what they see and how they want to do things is really important. So I don't want to take that away from them. So as long as they follow a few things.
The no drop thing is awesome, because I think you're right. I think so many people out there, especially when you think about road running, right? And getting together with a local run club. Obviously COVID's weird, but you move to a new town, or at least I have before, and I'm like, okay, where are the different running stores? They do a group run. And especially if you're living in a place like I used to live in Marin County, like where you've got ultra, like world-class ultra runners, and the pace is just crazy, and it's not a no drop. Like, it's intimidating. And me going through what I've been through in the last 2 years has been a really humbling experience from a physical standpoint, because I used to be able to keep up, and now I would be the one that would move to a new town like I did in Boulder, and would be like, I don't know how fast I'm gonna be able to go. I don't know if I can keep up with like people who are racing right now. I'm just getting back. So the fact that like Trail Sisters approved runs, that one of those components is having it be a no drop and making it accessible to people. And also, like, I love that it's gone from sort of not just trail running, but it's also hiking, and it's more like the passion for the outdoors and just getting out and meeting other people. I think is awesome. We've already had a couple people ask questions. How can people find out if there's a local chapter in their area?
Sweet. So they can go to trailsisters.net. So once you go there, there's going to be it's on the right hand of your screen. There'll be a button or an ad that essentially says Trail Sisters Communities, or you can go communities.trailsisters.net. But if you go there, you have to, it's free to sign up. You have to be a member. So you just sign in, and then there's a huge, I think we have over 100 groups, local groups around the USA, a few in Canada, and a few in Europe. But then we also have discussion groups in that same communities platform. We do have some on Facebook. Now they're also on the communities platform, but it was really important to me to create this specific platform, because not everybody that wants to join a group run is, on Facebook, right? So I wasn't stoked on only hosting our local communities on something like the Facebook platform. So now, if you're not on the social media outlet, I know we're on IG right now, but like, it doesn't mean you're on Facebook. So if you're not on Facebook, you can go to the Trail Sisters website, click on the communities tab, and then just, log in. It's pretty easy, sign up. And then you can search through all the groups. We have regional groups too. So if there isn't we just added those. If there isn't like, whatever, something specific to your town, find your region and you can start connecting that way. There's not a ton of content rolling through those yet, but I'm hopeful people will, it's like any discussion group. Anytime you have a question, throw it out there, see what kind of answers you receive, or an inspiring thought. Communication and in what I believe is like a huge way of, you can do anything if you start opening your mouth and using your voice. And that's what we did that's how Trail Sisters got started. Is we just started sharing our stories and our thoughts, and now we're here. So yeah, I'm really big on communication and sharing what you can with others.
Which is great. I'm going to open it up. So anybody that has questions for Gina, now is your chance. I know we've got people on here that are saying hi, and people are like excited. So be sure. Would love to get a question from the audience for Gina while we're waiting for the next one. Someone asked, you mentioned the spiritual component. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Spiritual component. So
we just hear that wrong.
Oh, well, we're not, if that means religious stuff, we're not necessarily.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm like, there's no religious, anybody's religion works for what they want to do. Okay. I'm like, we're not like affiliated with one, anyway. So actually, so when I think of Trail Sisters, it's kind of funny. I don't talk about this too much, but so yeah, we're about outdoor sports, right? But I kind of think of it really as a vessel to growing your confidence and your abilities, and learning about your capabilities to then implement that in all aspects of life. you know, trail running is a really primal thing if you think about it. Just you outside in the woods, kind of, well, with friends or by yourself, but you're not on a bike. You're not in a, like, you're usually in an area where you kind of are at your most vulnerable, I'd say. And so that can be really intimidating, but I want people to understand and learn, like, hey, you can get out there and you can go for whatever, a mile, hike, run, whatever, but you did that. You put yourself in a position or a predicament that really allowed you to be vulnerable in the sense of, like, I'm not in my house. Like, I don't, you know, maybe I don't have cell service. Like, if you can conquer that and get past that, there's so many things you can do in your life. And so I really hope that kind of building that confidence and seeing what your abilities are, what you're capable of, convinces you to take other, you know, I don't want to say risks, maybe that's not the right word, but like just chances, or go for it, or, you know, in other areas of your life. Don't be scared. Don't let fear hold you back. So I guess if there was a spiritual component, that's kind of my best answer for that. I don't know if that's very good or not, but
No, that's fine. That's fine.
okay.
That's great. And what I want to ask is, you know, being here on No Time to Waste project, and what I'm trying to do here, you know, what I ask every guest, regardless of kind of what they've been through, is what is the idea of living like there's no time to waste? Like, what's that mean to you personally, and how do you live every day like there's no time to waste?
Yeah, you know, like you never, well, you never know when your day is going to come, right? When your number's up, and you know, you don't, it's scary to kind of think about that or focus on that, because you don't want to have this like fear thing in the back of your head the whole time. But at the same time, like, people have a lot of abilities to do all kinds of things, and to not do it because you just don't feel like it, or you're, I mean, there's a difference between being exhausted and being lazy, I guess, if you could. And so, like, take advantage of the opportunities you have and the things that you're given. And sure, it's hard to go outside and do something epic every single day of your life. That might not be feasible, but you know, when you have the opportunity to go do something, maybe, you know, maybe it seems hard at first, but give it a chance. You know, for, I know there's some people that be like, well, I don't feel good today on my run, you know, like, well, give yourself like a mile, go a mile at least. And if you still feel crappy, then sure, maybe it's not your day. But you know, within or at the end of that mile, you might have been like, okay, I'm past that sticky point, and then you might have the best day ever out in the trails because you just gave it a chance. I think taking those chances and finding opportunities that maybe you're not so that aren't like right in front of your face all the time, seeking that stuff out is really important, because you don't want to be sitting there one day wishing that you would have taken advantage of the time that you had.
Totally.
So
That's
I don't
happening.
know. Yeah.
And right now I've had this breathing thing for, you know, probably 6 weeks now, that I haven't ran, I haven't been on my bike, I have had trouble breathing. We know what it is now.
Right.
And, you know, I just want to shake everybody out there, right? And I've been
Right.
too, so there's no judgment attached to it. But anyone that's like, oh, I don't want to like go for my run today, like I'm tired, or like I don't feel like it, and it's like a thing on your to-do list that you're just like, ugh, and it's a hassle, right? And I'm in a position right now, as there are so many other people for different reasons, where more than anything, I wish right now that
Yeah.
I could go kind of, you know, run without abandon and do the things physically that make me happy. So I make a plea to anybody that's here, especially people that are connected with Trail Sisters and are really active in the running community and the hiking community, is like, you know, be grateful for like the privilege of being physical, because although it seems like a pain or something to check off, there are a lot of people out there that wish that they just had their physical health right now, because physical health is something that money can't buy. And
Right.
it's something that I think, at least for me, when you lose it, be it from injury or illness, um, you know, when you lose that privilege, all of a sudden you realize, oh man, like that's something that brings me joy, and I can't do it right now. And I can't wait to get back to, you know, get out from this injury or out from this illness. So that's my plea to everybody, is to just remember that there's a lot of people that wish that they could go out for a run today, and
Right.
they really can, you know.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, and you don't want to wait until you get to a point. Like, and I'm definitely at fault. There's times where like all of a sudden, like I won't be, I'd come up with other reasons not to do it, right? And then I would run into an injury, and then all I could find myself was wishing I could get back out there and do it. And it's kind of like, well, shit, Gina, you should have been like, And so don't wait for something to pop up to convince you. Take advantage of every second you have now. And so you're you're dead on with that for sure. So,
and then what's the, you've talked about, for the people that have just joined, Gina here, the founder of Trail Sisters, which she started in 2016, now has local groups all over the US, Canada, Europe, this amazing online journal with basically user-generated content and member stories, which is just, you can get lost in a rabbit hole. It's awesome. And we're just talking about how it's been built to here. What's the future of Trail Sisters? Like, what do you envision in an ideal world? Like, what's some of the stuff you think about for the future?
It's funny. I'll get that question, and I'm always like, I don't know what the 20-year plan is for the actual, like in terms of where I want to see the sport. I just hope it's way more welcoming, and we just see. I don't ever expect participation in the sport to have to be like 50-50. I mean, it's because that's almost like you can't convince somebody to do something that they're just not interesting. There's a lot of sports out there, whatever it is, or interests, hobbies that people can do. But right now, I don't think we're encouraging enough people to even think about the sport of trail running or hiking, for instance. So I would love to see things like get closer to being, equal. And if it doesn't get equal, that's fine. But I'd like to see the sport and the outdoor industry itself do a better job at just embracing all people into the sport, just speaking to, everybody that, like we're, diversity, like pace, size, everything across the board. There's a lot more we could be doing, and it doesn't happen. And it's just convincing people that usually have, I'd say the media outlets or people in charge of the brands, they kind of control how it goes. And then the funny thing is we're all the runners out there, the hikers, but if we use our voices enough, we can really change that narrative. So it's where I'm hopeful more and more people will use their voice and write to media outlets and brands, telling them what they want to see and what they hope for, and that those entities will listen. So that's where I hope the sport, changes in the next, I want to see that change in like 2 years, but if we could see that, long term, that'd be great. But for Trail Sisters, I know one thing we want to do. So we were supposed to do a race this year, but we, COVID kind of put the kibosh on everybody's stuff. But so we're aiming to do our race for 2021, because we're in 2020. And so that's something that we'll do for next year. And the idea, our plan is it's a total of a 50K distance, but so we wanted to offer something that was long, but you're going to have the opportunity to do it as a team of 5, a team of 3, or you could do it solo, and it's 10K loop. So then the team of 5, everybody would just have to run one 10K loop. Team of 3, you'd have to have 2 people repeat. And then if you're a single person doing the event, you'd have to do 5 loops, which maybe isn't appealing. But I thought this way it'd be really cool, because then you could have teams show up. It could be your first, your first race ever. It could be an easy 10K, or if you want to do some longer distance, you could, do a few if you're in a team of 3. But it allows people to come together, creates community. And it's a run. It's not like some crazy race thing, it's more about having a fun weekend together. So that will be in August of next year. But
Sweet.
I'll have more information on that, but that's
awesome. Cool. Because I was going to say, like, I want to share that with people. All right, cool. So what I want to do, I know we have a bunch of people here that love Trail Sisters, and just so you guys know, I think it's a couple times a year, Gina puts out a Trail Sisters team kit, which there's no qualifiers, there's no application. It basically is just a race to the first person that is the size they want.
We can only buy so many.
And so getting Trail Sisters swag, this is like this is coveted shit. So we're gonna do a gift pack. Gina's been kind enough to put together some Trail Sister swag, which is super cool. Oh, that's a good one. I also
we got. I have a bunch of shirts, and sorry, it's
sweet.
like I don't think I'm doing a very good display.
Oh man, that's awesome.
And just like sticker, pop socket.
Awesome.
So we have a cool little, you know, swag bucket thing.
Yeah, this is awesome. And I actually can throw in something on that too, because I have the, what do you call them? The, not the trucker hats, but what are the other hats?
Oh, either the pack cap or the crusher hat. Is that mean for a head buff?
I have a crusher hat that I can add to the swag,
right.
So a lot of awesome stuff. So we're going to give it away. We're going to give it away right now for anybody that is here live. I know, super exciting, right? So the first person on the IG Live right now that puts in the hashtag no time to waste is going to get a Trail Sister swag pack shipped to them by Gina. So whoever puts in the hashtag no time to waste is going to get that swag pack. There's usually a delay. And the first time I did this, I didn't realize I had to keep scrolling down. So I didn't think anybody, there it is.
Yeah.
Jenny, whom I met on the Trail Sisters retreat in Boulder last year. She's the first one, hashtag no time to waste. She got it in. So Jenny, you're going to get some sweet Trail Sisters gear. Maybe I'll hold it ransom for you in Boulder and you have to come visit me to receive it. But Jenny, send me a direct message after and we'll make sure that we get that stuff out to you guys. Jenny's very excited and literally just put in cats. Oh my OMG, I never win anything. So that's what time to waste is about, man. It's about free shit, because like who doesn't love free shit and giveaways?
I'm happy to send the other ones that if they text you their address, I can send everybody a sticker as a consolation prize for the other one.
That's very nice. All right, so
I think there was like 3 or 4 other ones after her
that were very fast. So Lori Murph, CJ Traub, and Trudy Ezzo. If you guys want to send me a direct message with your address, we'll send you a Trail Sister sticker. Which, by the way,
and Strong Mom Colorado. Yeah,
I'm always repping, man.
That little dot in your A fell out.
Well, it's because I've been actually using it. I use it all the time. It's my primary thing.
You know what's really weird about that though? What? Like when you look at it, whenever I read the stickers, it sounds awful, but it looks like the word meat, and I'm always like meat. Yeah. That's weird.
Meat. Fantastic. All right, cool. So just to wrap up, follow Trail Sisters, Trail_Sisters on Instagram if you're not already. Go to trailsisters.net to find not only all of the content and the stories that people have written, including me, but you can also go to trailsisters.net now so that you don't have to go on Facebook if you don't want to, because that was the only reason I was going on. And see if you have a local chapter. And if you don't have a local chapter, there's going to be directions on how you can potentially submit to actually start your own. Right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So the whole point
be a leader.
Yeah, be a leader. The whole point is about inclusion and participation and just getting women out on the trails, be it hiking, be it running, meeting other women that have a passion for the outdoors. And it all started right here with this lady, Gina Lucrezi, who is the shit. So I'm going to say goodbye to Gina, and then I'm going to give a quick preview of who we've got coming next week, because we have a heavy athlete lineup that's coming up the next 3 Fridays. I want to thank Gina because she's super busy. Thank you for your government background.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming on. It's good to see you and chat a little bit. Next time you come through BV, let me know. So,
all right, I'll talk to you later. Right. Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
So I'm gonna remove Gina. How fun is she? And I want her to come and paint my my background. All right, we're running a little late. I just wanted to basically say who we've got coming up next week. Look at this. I don't know if you can see it. So there's a picture. So next Friday we have Jackie Hunt. I believe her last name is pronounced Breersma. She is better known as the Instagram handle NC Runner Jackie, Jaky. And she is, among other things, an 18-year cancer survivor. She had her leg amputated as a result of cancer 18 years ago. That did not keep her down. If anything, she has become this incredible professional ultra runner with a blade. And not only has she competed and won in trail races all over the world, she actually just got the world record for number of miles on a treadmill by an amputee. And she ran 100 miles on a treadmill with one leg and a blade, like 10 times faster than pretty much anybody that's probably on the line right now. So I'm super stoked. She will be there next Friday. We are going to start a new time based on feedback from people. We're going to be pushing an hour later for the live show. So starting next week, it's going to be 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern every Friday. No Time to Waste live with Jackie. On September 4th, we have Roderick Sewell, who is going to blow your mind because, and it's just funny with the scheduling that I have back-to-back amputee, like ultra athletes, but Roderick Sewell was the first double amputee above the knee to complete the Ironman in Kona last year. So I couldn't do that with like extra legs, and Roderick has done it without too. And it will blow your mind what he's been through and where he is now. And then after that, we have Hillary Allen. So if there's anybody that's still on the line that loves ultra running and loves Gina, I met Hillary through the Trail Sisters retreat last year. She's now living in the Alps of France, which I think started as COVID, but now she's staying there. And she has reconnected after an incredible comeback story where she fell off a ridge 150 feet in a sky race in Norway in 2017, broke 12 bones, had to relearn how to walk, right? And has now come back and is racing again and has gotten a huge passion for gravel biking and just like being outdoors. And she's an amazing spirit. And I'm so excited to bring her on. So next week, new time, an hour later, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern. If you have a great guest, DM me or go to notimetowasteproject.com/show. You can see the lineup. You can see all the giveaways that are coming. Super excited. Glad to have you guys here. Thank you. I'm signing off from the Dude Ranch, the library where I am right now. Again, not my house, not my decorations. But thank you guys for joining, and I will see you next week.